Alright, we're screen sharing. Alright, so a bunch of homework that needs to be handed in. Next week there is going to be a test. I decided whether or not it's going to be in class or take home. But it is study everything that we've learned up till now, because including this class will be on it. Okay, last week, I know the homework was kind of easy. I did installing Anki. You said that everybody. Well, Cyrus, were you able to do it? And if you were able to do it, okay. Using it, I will try and expand on that. I'll make sure that I have everything included. I don't remember creating it, so I'll have to continue working on that. Okay, so we took a look last week at some of the basic and work with files in the operating system. To continue further, and we're going to talk about utility commands that Linux has in it and do more and more stuff. It's called sudo, and sudo stands for superuser do, or perform an action the superuser or the root user or the administrator. We like to say root, but superuser works also. The reason it wasn't called rdo is because R tended to stand for remote, so superuser. So if you run a command and you don't have specifically the permissions to do it, if you followed the instructions for installing Anki last week, the instructions were a little bit of blind faith. Appreciate that. The instruction for installing it into the system was sudo make install. So if you had simply typed, or had you experimented and just typed make install real quick, that would say permission denied, or words to that effect, probably permission denied. Why is that? Because in order for you to be able to install software in Linux, you have to have appropriate let me finish that sentence. In order for you to install software available to the entire system or other users that may use the system, you have to have superuser privilege in order to do it, or root access in order to do it. So if you don't have it because you are logged in as a typical user, especially if you have installed if you've installed KDE Neon into the virtual hard disk that we created, you log in as a user, as Cyrus says. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It's easy for me to remember who I am. And a regular user, if you have this permission-based hierarchy that allows individuals whatever rights are granted to an individual. So in your home directories, you can actually install and run software in your home directory, because if you wrote a script to peek into your neighbor's home directory, you would have to go through the root-owned home directory in order to get into an alternative home directory as a regular user, as opposed to root. Sorry about my pop-ups. So superuser do, sudo, allows you to, if you have permissions to be a superuser, and when you create your initial user when you're installing Linux, you can, it automatically assigns you with administrator privileges, root privileges. It means that you have to expressly instruct Linux that you want to do this as if you are the superuser, as if you have superuser privileges. Otherwise, it doesn't simply assume it. In order to create other users, you can go into the settings, and you can create user accounts. You can create other user accounts, and you can see those. You can assign them administrative privileges. There are other ways of doing it, but we're not going to get into those details. Anyway, so in the command that I gave you to install, it was sudo make install. So installing software for global use, you would need root privilege, and sudo says now. You probably had to authenticate. You probably said for whatever, and as long as you can authenticate that you are a user, it and install Anki. And then once all that was done, you type Anki and it opened up and throughout the land. Okay. The flag that you can use for the sudo command it stands for shell, and that means that you can become the root user on the command line. So instead of the $bash shell, you'll actually have the # bash shell, which indicates the root user. Just typed sudo -s, it would drop you into, and I don't know why it says drop, it's just a thing, it's the verbiage for it. But sudo -s will drop you into a root level shell. It will drop you into the root user shell as long as you're authenticated to it. And you will then execute commands as root. This is a good thing and a bad thing. As root user, you can do whatever you want. I actually worked with somebody who she had to return a laptop, and we were able to return it by issuing as a root user to delete everything. So actually, she literally wiped out the hard drive. It was interesting to look at. And so I'm gonna give you the command with the specific instructions to never, ever, ever, never type this. So remove. We didn't look at that yet. We will. And force. And everything in the root directory. So you issue that command as root, and thankfully Linux has certain built-in to make sure that you don't do it for grins and giggles. But issuing this command as root will completely wipe it. It will remove every scrap from off the hard drive, and then you will no longer have anything. But as you get yourself more involved in Linux and you start being able to understand the jokes, that RF/, if somebody says help, I'm having a problem, blah blah blah, and it's like, it's some silly, will invariably offer rm/RF/ as the solution to the problem. It's not a solution to the problem, it is a joke. Seriously, don't type that. You can't recover it once you're done. By the way, removing stuff, there is no trash, and it's gone for good. There are file management programs the option to trash things. Just typing remove, no questions asked. Well, actually, that's not true either. You can tick I will. Yeah. Okay, now this is where we start to have lots of fun. And apt-get is the installer for Linux. So we looked at Discover, program for installing software, but as you use the command line, you want to stand the command line to have to flip back and forth. So what we use the apt system. I'm trying to remember what apt stands for. Okay, so actually, I'm teaching you the one version of it. There's actually another program called Yum and derivatives of CentOS and stuff like that. And then there's one for Red Hat Linux called RPM, which is Red Hat Package Manager. I did remember. Okay, so I'm teaching you what we use in this Ubuntu system. Ubuntu can use. It's all much the same muchness in that what it does is a repository finds the software that's compatible with your operating system, with your specific, it installs it, and done is done. Okay, so there are a number of different. Start that up. Okay, so I want you to go into your or your terminals in your virtual. I'm going to just do it. Get. Now I say -get instead of trying to say it as it's a separate thing. It's apt-get. A little while ago. So okay. So I'll tell you. Okay, so of help because they want to help in what turns out to be but the assumption is that you're okay. They want to be helpful. So here we typed apt-get and on my terminal on my machine for the virtual machine. So it gives you this help information. So it first is how to the general format of how to issue apt-get, and then whatever options there are, and then apt-get install or remove. That's usually what we're going to be doing. And now you see most used command, okay, in a little description, which I've already explained. And okay, so apt-get update upgrade. Okay, so remove, purge, auto remove, dist up. Okay, so I should have probably put this list in the in the presentation, but okay, you're looking at it anyway. So we have update, upgrade, install, dist upgrade, and auto remove and purge. Okay, those are the general commands that we're going to be looking at. Okay, so or the options. So apt-get. I guess what that means. Okay, so apt-get install will install a program. Now, there's good news and there's bad news. You have to know exactly what the package is named, and type with whatever. Okay. Sometimes you don't really know what you want to install, or more specifically, what it's actually named. So, and I'm just going to go back a little bit in my see, open video editor in Linux. I do my chef stuff. I don't know if I mentioned this. I used to be a chef. I'm still in food service a little bit. I was on Twitter yesterday, and somebody asked a random question about what food are they absolutely the worst at making, which I thought was an interesting question. A lot of people answered. Somebody said boiling eggs. Okay, boiling eggs is pretty simple. So when I woke up this morning, I took some raw video very badly. I'm a horrible photographer. I'm a horrible videographer. So I took some video of me soft boiling some eggs. It happens to be that I know exactly how to soft boil eggs. So let me actually see if I can pull this up real quick. No, I don't want to do that. That's what I do is youtube.com. youtube.com. I should have saved it. I didn't. Right now I'm in my browser and I am looking at, and I'm not logged in, so I'm just going to type boil and let's see what happens. Awesome. So, switch back into here I am. Okay, that is the link to the video. So I boiled eggs and I created I took the video of it. And like I said, it's very bad video, so whatever. But then what I did was I recorded a voiceover using Audacity. You can see Audacity right over there, and Audacity, and uploaded it to YouTube and sent it out to my social media stuff. But it was all done in OpenShot. The video was created, processed, and produced in OpenShot. So what we're going to do is we're going to install OpenShot. Thank you. Okie dokie. So. Now, we can't just assume that OpenShot is necessarily available. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at the second command. I got to get back to the other. And I should have just remembered what number it was, but it's telling me. Okay, we are going to look at the. We're going to look at the second command first. Right now is apt cache, and So on my screen, I will share my screen. I'm going to lose my presentation. I gotta figure that out. This is okay. I'm go to screen sharing, and I'm going to share application, and wait, what? Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. Alright. We're gonna cancel that idea. Screen sharing is okay. Now is it allowing? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to report a bug, and okay, so it says screen sharing stopped working, required an install, said the install was corrupt, and slogged the classroom. Okay, that's that. Where's my... I keep seeing chat and... Okay. I don't know. Chat seems to be disappearing, so that's kind of sad. Okay, and oh, it looks like the whole screen got... Yeah. Okay. Okay, you can't see my screen, but I will describe exactly what I'm doing in excruciating detail. In order to find OpenShot and install it, first we have to look to see if the distribution, if Kubuntu or Ubuntu or Xubuntu or whatever or Red Hat or whatever we're using, we have to see if it is if it's available. So we do that using apt cache and then command search. So I'm going to type in on my command line apt cache space search and then space open shot, one word, and I hit enter. It goes and fetches, and it returns a whole lot of there's a whole lot of response. So you've typed, yes, I will repeat it, and I will even type it in here for you. Don't type, I just typed $. Don't type the $. That is a visual indicator for you that I'm on the command line. Okay, so we're going to be smart about it. Okay, apt cache search OpenShot. Okay, I want you to type that in, not the $, just type in apt cache search OpenShot, and you're going to, in a few seconds, get a response. And you're going to get a whole bunch of library files, and you're going to get documentation, and. Okay? So, -doc means it's the documentation. Now, most applications put their documentation on online anyway, so I don't bother with it. Okay. If I was a developer and I was developing a plugin for OpenShot or whatever, if I was doing some open source magic on it and helping to contribute to the community, I might install the development files. So you see lib or for library OpenShot-dev, Okay, so then there's libOpenShot Audio 6, which is for high quality, whatever that means, I don't know. So libOpenShot 1.4, okay, OpenShot QT, so that's for KDE. What we're going to do is we're going to just install OpenShot. Okay, so now from your command line, I want you to type sudo apt-get install OpenShot. Just exactly that it's written. So a little bit south of center in that whole list that you see, it says OpenShot create and edit video and movies transitional package. Okay, so that's the one that we will need to install, and that will install. We'll see what happens after that. So again, sudo means we want to do it as a super user because we want to install it so it's available globally in the system. apt-get is the command. The parameter is install, and OpenShot is the package that we want to install. So type that in, hit enter, and we're going to, let's see what we get. apt-get install OpenShot, enter. Okay, reading package lists, done. Okay, what does that mean? Underneath the hood, buried somewhere in the operating system files, it maintains a list of package sources to look at. Okay, actually we're going to do one more thing before we actually get into this. Okay, so then building dependency tree, so it knows which versions to install, and then there's like a whole ton of stuff that it's going to install. It's going to install a bunch of Python packages, it's going to install Inkscape, Blender, it's going to install tons of stuff, and it says need to get 144 megabytes of archives, meaning zip files, and afterwards it's going to install about half a gig of disk space. So okay, it's kind of a little bit on the heavy side, but we're going to manage with that. So what I'm going to say, do I want to continue? No, and hit enter. Because what I want to do first is I want to type, because I don't think about it because I have things set up a different way. What? Saying get is, right now, that's what we're typing. But actually before that, I want you to type sudo apt-get update, and what that does is that fetches the meta information about the latest versions of every software package that it's aware of. So it's going to go through, so I type that, and right now it's updating its internal database for latest versions of stuff. Okay? So when installing from the command line, the first thing you do is sudo apt-get update, then probably apt-cache search for the package that you are looking for, and then finally apt-get install, and then the specific name of the package that you're looking to install. And what the apt package manager will do is it will fetch all of the dependencies that your software requires in order for it to function. So different library files, different audio files, video files, blah blah blah. It's whatever it needs in order for it to function. It is aware of these dependencies. It checks with your internal system to see if the dependencies are met, and if not, it will install the dependencies. So once we've updated it, so what we're going to do is we're going to run apt-cache search OpenShot. Nothing's changed, so sudo apt-get install OpenShot, and I enter that, and it will give me the same information as before, because we have to go back and do it the right way. and it says, okay, we need to install a whole lot of stuff. Do you want to continue? Now, when you see on the command line, you see the square brackets with the capital Y and the slash little n. When you see that, that is the convention on the command line that Y, the capital letter, is the default response. Therefore, if you just hit enter, it will assume you meant Y. Yes. You can type in Y, that's fine, but you don't need to. You can hit enter and what? Can you repeat what I should type? Yes. First you want to do sudo apt-get update. Okay. Then you want to do apt-cache search openshot. And then third, you want to type sudo apt-get install openshot. There should be one dash in that one. Let me fix that. Okay, sudo apt-get. So in order, first we bring our internal database up to date, apt-get update. Okay, and this is something that you can automate, but whatever. We'll talk about automation in one or two classes. Okay, so you update the internal database, then you search for the program that you're looking for in order to get the exact spelling. Now, it could be that the package maintainer or the creator developer, whatever you want to call them, him or her, has a version number associated with it. So it may be openshot-1.4, or I don't even know what it's up to, but I'm just making it up. So you would have to know that that is specifically the package that you have to install, and simply typing apt-get install openshot will return an error. It'll say there are no packages named that because you didn't search and get the exact name. It happens to be, in OpenShot's case, it is it's just the name OpenShot, but you'll notice that also the name of it it uses capitals, but for the package it doesn't use capitals. Okay, fine. Okay, that's the wrong thing. We go here, and when we hit enter, capital Y is invoked, the default yes, and it will then go and start fetching 144 megabytes of stuff from across the internet and bring it into your machine. It collects all of the zip files and tar files, and we'll talk about those also. Once it collects all, put them into staging area, it will go ahead and it will start installing. And so 144 bytes are going to expand about 350%, 360%. You're going to dump about a half a gig of other files that OpenShot needs. Now, the good news is that typically when you see something, first of all, it's not a very big file, usually, and second of all, it can be used with other programs. Another program, all these programs are already installed, so you don't have to reinstall them, and Linux is aware enough so that you don't have to keep reinstalling. You don't have to. It'll deduct it based on what you already have installed. So the more you install this thing, or with very specific types of software, like this is video editing software, so it's kind of it's video editing software is kind of specialized, but for other things, there are a couple things that are flicking past my screen that I know that are used more or less commonly. So Katie didn't have it installed by default. Fine, that's not a big deal. And actually, I don't even know if you've installed it on your drive. I don't even know. Some of these packages might already be installed, and when I'm looking at it, it's 144 expanded to 500 change. So I don't know, but right now it should be installing. Right, it's going through, and installing different files, scrolling through. Did I lose you? You have to type it exactly the way exactly the way you don't miss. Wait, where am I? This is. Gentlemen, are you with me? Okay, where are we up to with the installation? You just by? Okay. So it's installed, it's done. So now when you type OpenShot from the command, you should have awesome. It should be working. It's basically like it's called Microsoft. I don't know. Apple has one also. Basic, but it works exactly the way I need it to work. I import and I actually sat with a couple of kids. One was 13 and one was 7. He was just there because his big brother was there. But they came over and actually showed them an overview of how to do video editing. This is anyway. So I recorded the egg thing. I chopped up the assets the way I wanted it to. The video is horrible. The voiceover, a lunatic. But I got it all put together, and I got to for the in response to that. Okay, so that's how to install software, discover, and deal with Okay, good. Okay, so we're gonna assume this is complete, and I'll complete it and have it up to date. But okay, so we have apt-get. Okay, we did upgrade. No, yeah, we did apt-get update. We did apt-get install. Now, once you're done, what we want you to do is, okay, mine's still delayed, apt-get upgrade. I'm you. Actually, I meant sudo apt-get upgrade. Okay, that upgrade runs an upgrade runs an update. Okay, the words are like a little jumbled, but you're smart enough, you'll figure it out. Upgrade takes it checks through all your software, checks against what is available, and any software you're updating, it updates. Simple as that. It's just a simple command, run right from the command line, and anything that has feature improvements, bug fixes, security, that's it. Update first to make sure everything's up to date on your end, and then sudo apt-get upgrade, and there's another one that is sudo apt-get dist upgrade, distribution upgrade. Actually go a little bit deeper into the operating system itself, and if there is a newer version of the operating system, it will update the operating system. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, did it said everything's up to date? Well, it's not finishing. Hold on a sec. Yes, what? But the install of OpenShot is not finishing? It takes a while. Remember, you're installing about a half a gigabyte of software and throwing it all over the operating system. That's okay. I'm holding. Okay. Okay. Hooray. Okay, and Cyrus, what about you? You're overshot, and it's going slowly. Okay, so apt-get update, again, internal update, apt-get installs software package, apt-get upgrade will go through all of your installed software packages and update whatever needs update. Apt-get this-upgrade will go into the operating system itself and check through to see if there's a of the Linux kernel or the operating system itself. Again, the Linux kernel, we didn't really talk about this because it's generally a higher concept, but the kernel is basically the operating brain of Linux, and it gets updates on a fairly regular basis. So doing a distribution upgrade will also help to update the kernel, keep things safe, secure, and up to date. Okay. Okay, we talked about apt cache search. Okay. Purge, and then the package will remove the package. Okay. Apt-get auto remove will remove anything that's been flagged for it doesn't need to be installed anymore. Maybe a library installation that's no longer needed. It happens from time to time. So clean up a couple of 100K of stuff, maybe a megabyte or two, whatever. So that's apt-get auto remove. This will all be in the Anki deck, I promise. You'll need to know it and from which to study, I promise. Man, let's look at a type in man OpenShot. Might as well do it now. And what it should do is it should open a manual page. It's not a gender thing. It is man space OpenShot will open up the command line help and on my help manual, which should give you. There's not. Oh, really? That makes me disappointed. Well, it's only fair I said that. Okay, so type in man space apt-get. Okay, does that have a menu? Okay, awesome. This is where Spoon. Okay, am I back? Am I unfrozen? I actually kind of switched last weekend. Like all of a sudden it was summer here. It's like 90 degrees outside. I'm dying. Okay, so this is where the spoon feeding ends, and you ask me questions about something. I don't think it's okay. Can you hear me? Okay, so I can hear me too, anything, but I'm just saying. Okay, so yes, no, what? Are we? Okay. I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat. So you still can't hear me, Alice? I've been dealing with them for 3/4 of my life. I know what you're talking about. Okay, so I'm just going to type a little bit. Okay, so man stands for man is equal to manual, and then command is brings up for Okay. In man CP, that will give you the CP man make dir. Okay. So all the commands, and with the exception of OpenShot, all the other commands, sudo included, will give you, I expect them to a manual, an online manual, or a command line manual or help file that gives you the complete instruction set, the complete list of options that you can instruct that you can offer the switches and parameters and stuff like that, tells you how to issue the command, and the better manuals will give, or the better man pages, sorry, they are called man pages, the better man pages will give you examples at the end of the man page. And just so you know, the man page is being run itself through another command called less. Less is the opposite of more. More will show you the text, and we'll look at it later on. More will show you the text in a command and allow you to scroll down through it. Less, because the person who wrote it has a sense of humor, is the same as more, except that you can actually scroll up and down, and that's what the man pages allow you to do. So you're actually looking at it through a different, it's just, I don't know, I find that ironic that like everything is connected in some other way to some very simple command. But anyway, so like I was saying, now is where you stop being spoon-fed, and if you have questions, I will tend to say, I might give you a short answer, but I will follow up with, and you should read the man page. So if you ask me, how does this work, I could say, well, this is why it works, and for more information, read the man page. Because every Linux person, that's what they do in order to improve their knowledge of this operating system. So you are now officially joined in the ranks of being Linux people, and you're going to do things the way that Linux people do. Yay! Yes. Okay. You can actually do man-man, if I remember correctly, and yeah, and you can do man-man, and it will give you all sorts of information on how to do, how to look through man pages. They're, typically it's like, okay, I can't remember which switch I want to use for preserving the parent and making a directory, and so you do man mkdir, and you'll see that the switch is tick p or whatever it is. So so you're not required to memorize all of Linux, although if you do, how we say here in Israel is kol hakavod, all the honor to you, but you don't have to, because you have man pages literally at your fingertips on the command line. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, so I've got OpenShot installed and Blender installed and all that nonsense and all that jazz. Okay, great. And manual page done. Okay. Now we're getting 7 o'clock. Let me just take a peek ahead. 1, 2, 3. Oh man, really? This is all today? Okay, wow. We're going to go right till the bitter end. Okay. Ready? I'm going to start talking faster. I know. Okay, an alias. So we talked about this a little bit last week when we were learning the switches for ls, the directory listing. Alias make your life easier by allowing you to create your own shortcuts with pre-configured options without having to type them out. So, I'm trying to weigh whether or not I'm going to get in deep trouble for this or not. Yeah, why not? Okay. I'm going to show you I want you to, why not? Bonsai, right? Sudo apt get. Now we don't have to do update because we just did it in the last 20 minutes, so it's the chances that something is actually like newer and very unlikely. Sudo apt-get install YouTube -dl. Okay. This will, when given a parameter of a URL from YouTube, will download that video to your computer. I didn't freeze, I'm waiting for a reaction. You do know what YouTube is, right? Okay. Okay. Now, there are options. If you, okay, what's not working? Oh, that's not good. Well, how? Oh, man. Okay. Okay, so do that. Sudo dpackage tick configure tick A. Okay. Okay. So I tried installing it. It actually said that I have YouTube DL installed, which is interesting because I don't remember installing it, but okay, maybe it came with, which is kind of cool and a little creepy. Anyway, so you okay. All right, so let's see if this works. In your give me a song that you all like. Nothing from Logan Paul because he just got in a lot of trouble for stuff at a party. You know, it says that the package list can't be open. What happens if you just type in sudo apt-get update? You think? Okay. And all right. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going because there's a lot of, and I want to, maybe I'll split it up into 2 weeks. But I want to give you, okay, all right. Okay, so you can essentially create your own commands, which are shortcuts to more complex commands. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you. So okay, so anyway, so give me a name of a song that you guys like, and try to make it clean and nothing from Logan Paul. Like I said, he just got in trouble at a party or something, so I don't want to promote him. I know my kid's really into him, but I'm done with that. Anyway, so song. Equinox by John Coltrane. Okay, so go to YouTube and we type in Equinox John Coltrane, EQINOX JOA Train. Okay. Okay. What we do is we're going to right click on the. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Right. Okay. So I'm in YouTube and I did a search for Equinox John Coltrane, and I have a picture of him blowing on a saxophone as the top, and I right click on it. I think you like a 2-finger click or something for Macs, whatever. Scroll and I see copy link address or copy link location, depending on whether you're using Chrome or Firefox, whatever. So you want to copy the link, okay? And the link is going to look like that. YouTube/watch and video equals and some, okay. Okay, and it's going to have some string characters. When I click on that, that will take me directly to that video. Now, I have to actually look at my alias, and okay. So, what I've done is I've set up an alias for downloading a song from the video, just extracting the song from the video. And that looks like this. So what I've done is I've said YTMP, okay, YTMP3, okay, is equal to issuing the command YouTube download. Tick Q suppresses the output because I don't care what happens. Don't change the modification time. Give it the title. Give it a title. Whatever, console title, and output it to my music directory as the title and the extension. So just the name of the song, dot and MP3, and then .x. Extract it. Tick tick. Audio format space MP3. So what that long command is, if you wander through the man pages of YouTube DL, you will see that all this kind of means stuff, and put it all together. And when I type YT MP3, so if I issue the command YT on my computer, not your computer, on my computer specifically because I created it on my computer, where am I? YT MP3. And then, this, right? What'll happen is that in about 40 seconds, it takes about that long, a version of that song will download in my music directory on my local folder, specifically to my local folder. So I'm actually running that command now because I happen to like jazz. John Coltrane's awesome. So good choice. Bravo. And that's what an alias does. Instead of having to remember the command, I just have to look it up once, kind of figure out exactly how I want the command to run, and then save it as a shortcut YTMP3. For me, that worked for me. Sure, no problem. Okay, so YouTube-DL is a program that will download a video to your local computer based on the YouTube address that you give it. Simple enough. What I want to do, I don't always want to download the video, I want to download the music because I like music. So instead of downloading the video file, or actually the download's like 3 video files. Instead of downloading the video file, what I want to do is I want to download the data, and then I want to create an MP3 file out of that downloaded data stream, the video. I don't want to extract the audio stream from the video data. Okay, so the way I do that is by issuing the command that I have up top, which is a shortcut on my machine for run YouTube download. Tick Q suppresses output. Tick tick no M time does not set a modification time, or it's the modification time is just whatever it is. And it is the console title. File is tilde my home directory sub music, which is a folder in all of our respective home directories, and then whatever is downloaded as the title dot and the extension, which in my case is MP3, because what I've asked for is tick X, which is to extract the audio information, and tick tick audio format MP3. Save it as an MP3 file. there's WAV files, there's OGG files, OGG files, there's WMA files. There's a lot of different audio formats. I've chosen MP3. Okay. And so then when I 2 messages down, when I type in on my computer YTMP3 space HTTP and then give it a YouTube URL, in about 40 seconds it will have downloaded into my music folder. So if I go to my music folder and I issue a shortcut command, what we can see is, I'll just show you just some of what my son makes me download for him. So you can see down at the bottom there, downloaded May 7th at 7:10 in the evening, which is what time it is now, John Coltrane Equinox.mp3. And I could start playing it, but I won't. You'll take my word for it that it actually works. Okay, and that's all the other garbage that I've downloaded. Don't ask. Okay, on your machines, in your terminals, what I want you to do is I just want you to type the word alias, ALIAS, enter. And now you're going to get and now you're going to get about a handful of aliases. What? I haven't explained it. That's why I don't understand it. Okay? I will explain it, and that's okay. So, okay. It was created by me using the YouTube download man pages to configure the command with all of the parameters in the very specific way that I wanted it to be. And let me get to the next slide and I'll show you. First, what I want you to do is I want you to look at, just type in the command alias and hit enter. Okay? You hit alias, you hit enter, and you see alias for, oh, there are a couple down there. Alias L is LSCF, LA is LS capital A, LL is LS AL capital F, excuse me, and alias LS color is color auto. Okay, so it actually cascades. So that's why things turn blue and other colors, is because there is a color option in LS to colorize things. Okay, but now it has all these options. So we've looked at, actually, I'm not entirely sure what the difference between lowercase a and uppercase a is. So let's take a look at that. Okay, that's what LSA is, I don't even know, and LSA is, okay, so capital A, I don't know, learn something new every day. So LS capital A is just, it ignores the dot and double dot directories, so I don't care. I look past them anyway. So I don't care. So anyway, so now we see aliases that are already in your machine. So if you type LL, what happens? Instead of typing LS-L, right? You type LL, okay, I'm typing it and I'm looking at myself, I'm fascinated by what I'm doing. If you type LSL, LSL, right, that will give you a list. But now all you have to do is, in your machines, it's indicated that all you have to do is type in LL. Okay, yes, you save 3 characters from having to type. Remember, I said this, Linux people, we're lazy. We don't want to do a lot of work. We want the computer to do the work for us so we can sit back and be amazing humans. So ls-l is the same as on our virtual machines LL, which issues that command. Now, obviously, for something like that, it's kind of pedestrian. It's not very fascinating, but you will find that as you use it and as you're navigating LL, it will come quicker to your fingers. This I promise. It also happens to be more or less a historical alias. This is an easy one, but if we were doing the alias for what I set up for YouTube in order to download it, obviously it's a little bit more complex. And you want to use aliases for the more complex commands. Okay, so that's on those machines. Now, on my machine, let me see if on my machine, when I type alias, I have, am I showing any? Okay, so, okay, I want to, there. Okay, I'm doing this on the whiteboard because I thought the whiteboard would be a little bit better for this. Okay, this is my alias file on my machine because I've been doing this for a very long time. Okay, so we have the alert notify, blah blah blah. We don't care about that. Okay, so look at the second one that I have set. We can all see the whiteboard, yeah? And I shrank down to a little bitty thing. Yes. Okay. So take a look at this. Alias apt-get is actually sudo apt-get. Oh, why? Well, because I got frustrated with the fact that I was typing in apt-get and it kept yelling at me, oh, do you have permission to do this? Yes, I have permission, I want permission, stop asking me. So all I did was I said, when I type in apt-get, I really mean sudo apt-get. So more laziness, here it is, Okay. Beep bad and beep good, those are aliases for an alert that I had. Book add, actually, if I've downloaded a book, I can add it to a library that I have on a computer that I have in my house called Zion. Let's see. DLS, that's a command that actually I made it and I never use it. DLS shows me anything that I've downloaded, it's in there. Sometimes Chromium makes my computer really slow, so I created an alias called KACB. When I type in KACB, it will kill Chromium on my machine, and all of a sudden things will start working again, and I open up Chromium and everything's where I left off anyway because that's how I have my settings. So no harm, no foul, it's just it slows things down. That's a limit of my laptop and not of Linux itself. My laptop doesn't have, my next laptop will have 32 gigs of RAM or whatever because this 4 gig nonsense is just not working for me. Blah blah blah. Okay, so actually I don't have this problem anymore, but alias MROE is equal to more. Again, if I want to look through a text file and I'm typing really quickly, my fingers spaz out and I type in row instead of more. I don't have the patience to type it in again, so I just said, okay, my silly typo, and I really meant more. So everybody move along. Okay, my IP. Okay, so this is a command. I had to look this command up, but it was kind of cool. That will tell me what my IP address is if I need to know it. If I have to use a VPN or something like that, so that informs me of that. These mount different file systems of computers on my network. Scan that actually, so that's the first scanner. I type in scan, it opens up a scan program which is connected to the scanner, printer, or fax machine that's in my bedroom, so I can scan something in. I mean, I still have to go and put stuff on the glass, but whatever. Different remote connections for SSH, and just the letter X will close out a terminal. Will close out a console session, terminal session. X copy is for copying from the command line. If I want to copy text from a command line and then paste it into like a browser or something, doesn't always work so well. But there is this X. And I've just created an alias for it. And here's my YTMP3 is run YouTube and name it as such. Neat, huh? Okay, so your alias file can be as big, and you can put into it whatever you want to put into it. What alias file? Glad you asked. Okay, so create or edit bash aliases. Now, so what I want you to do is go to your home directory if you're not in it, and ls space .ba and hit tab like 2 times, and it says bash history, bash logout, and bash rc. Okay, so there should be another called bash aliases, and bash is aware of it, and I think you can even use a man command to read the man page on it. But let me do this. More. Okay, I'm typing in more.bashrc, and what it's doing is it's showing me the contents without me being able to edit it, because I just want to look at what the commands are in here. Okay, a lot of stuff we're just gonna look past that. Okay, that's where the aliases are. Okay, so in our bash rc file, okay, this is what I'm typing it right now, more.bashrc. Okay, I type in that command, and then I scroll down to about 93%. 93%. And it says, it gives this little bash command, okay? One more time, how we got from the YouTube video to short. Yes, I will. Yeah, just give me a mo. All right. No, that's no problem. Oh, let me copy it from mine. Okay, so if you scroll down in bash rc, you're going to see, oh, that's yucky. Okay, how do I want to take this and I want to move it? Right? Move. Okay, and I want to take another one and create another text box and make it look like that. Okay. So you're going to see this towards the bottom. Okay, you may want to put your additions into a separate file like bash aliases instead of adding them directly. Okay, and then see that. Great. Okay, if and I'm reading you bash. This is straight up a programming statement. If you understand it, great. If you don't, that's also great. You will not be tested on this specific command. I have different bash files like bash alias and bash rc and what they are. But this says if the file exists and tilde in the home directory .bash, run it as a command. And what it is, it runs the bash aliases file as a script file, because that's exactly what it is. It's a bash script that issues a set of commands. So each of these commands is each of these aliases is actually the alias command with the value of the command. And we store it because when we start up the system, bash rc will get to this piece of code, and if it sees .bash aliases, then it will. Okay, so now how do I? Oh, that's cool. This is taking a long time. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to, in your what just happened? Okay, let's go back to this. Let's do this again. Okay, so we're going to create the bash alias file, and this is going to be exactly the answer to your question for forever, because I know you actually want to do this, no problem. Okay, I want you to type in nano tilde / dot bash aliases. Okay, nano is that's available at the command line. There are other ones, but right now we're just going to do this one. So nano tilde / dot bash aliases. Okay, and it should open up, and it's ready for text input. Okay, and what do we want to input? That's great. Great question. What is the get back to here. We want to input that list of input lists. We want to input aliases. Sorry. So specifically in the can't find the tilde in the keyboard. No, it should be to the left of the 1 key. You're welcome. Okay, so in nano, what we're going to type is alias ytmp3 equals alias space ytmp3 no space equals single quote. Okay, and then user bin YouTube-DL. We're going to leave out the tick at Q for now. Okay, because I want you to see the output. Okay, so user / bit. Okay, so we're typing this. User tube DL space tick tick no dash M for modification times space tick tick console dash title. Okay, and then tick O double quote tilde / capital MUSIC / % parens title it's the string, okay, dot %ext, the extension string, double quote, space, tick x, space, tick tick, audio dash format, space, MP3, single quote. Okay? Once you've typed that into your bash aliases file and you've double checked that you've typed everything correctly, Control X, that caret next to the X in the lower left hand corner, it means Control X. It will ask you if you want to save the modified buffer, and capital Y. It'll ask you a file name to write, bash aliases, hit enter, and it's saved. How far ahead am I? I've made an executive decision. Since class is just about up, I'm going to teach the second half of this, and then we are going to have a take-home test. Okay? I want to know where you're up to, though, so somebody say hello. You say yes, the instructions are at the bottom. So you say Control X, it should say, do you want to save the modified buffer? The answer is Y for yes. And then which you want to save, and it should say like home/cyrus/.bash_aliases. Right? Okay, shortcuts, you mean alias. An alias is typing, yes, it works. What works? An alias means you type less. What is behind? Okay, let me ask you a question. What's Cyrus's middle name? Okay, so when you want to call your brother, do you say Cyrus Super Kuster Ha? No, you say Cy, right? Exact same concept. Instead of having to say very specifically, every single piece of it, you've used an alias, a shortcut that means exactly the same thing, so that Cyrus knows that you're calling him. If you say, "Hey, Cy," same thing. If you're out in the yard and you say, "Cy, throw," you don't have to say, "Cyrus Super Kuster Ha, please throw me the football now." You don't have to say all that. All you have to say is, Cy, throw. And that's basically the alias, which is the shortcut version of the much longer command. But in Cyrus's Linux brain, he's processing the shortcut and he's expanding it to mean exactly what it is. I meant what you typed in the console and wipe. Oh, okay. Okay. Which what don't you? My list of aliases. It's just different aliases that do different things. What? You mean in Nano? Okay, let's take a step back. Sorry, so when you say yes, it works, that means that if you issue the command more bash aliases, right? If you issue that command, okay. If you issue that command, do you see that the alias line that we typed in? Okay, awesome. What happens if you type in YTMP3 and then let's say that John Coltrane song, which I just lost it. There it is. Copy. Okay. What happens if you type in that command? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to edit it from here. Fine. I asked because I knew it was going to happen. The reason why... Okay, wait. I just want to... I will give you the reason why and the solution for it, but I want Ellis to give me the green light. I don't know my metaphors anymore. Wait, Ellis is typing it in on... hold on a second. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, and please elucidate. He's catching up to us? Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright, well, one of the drawbacks of this program is that it needs to be updated frequently. And right now it is out of date with YouTube. So, hang on, and I will send further instructions during the week, and we will get it up and running, I promise. But I'm going to call it done with class for now. I will have that information to you. I will have this working for you. Don't forget your homework. I'm waiting on lots of homework from everyone, and I will see you next week. Like I said, I'll continue with this this module. Nope. Well, yes, review for the midterm. Yeah, I'm not gonna assign any homework. Just start studying. I'm going to then do the I'm going to finish this module, and that will be the 6th class. At the end of the 6th class, I will have a link for you for the midterm test. Have a great week, and I will speak to you during the week. Take care.